Are you ready for this? Today, we're going to go over American Mash and Grain Borrowed Page Volume 1. Now, American Mash and Grain, first and foremost, is a storyteller. They started off as a whiskey bourbon blog. As they grew, the community grew with them. The stories they tell became more robust and engaging. Then they decided, how can we truly feature the brands that we talk about on our website? What they did was they came up with Borrowed Page. Borrowed Page is a really unique blend of whiskeys. So Borrowed Page is an American whiskey. Now what makes American whiskey is it can actually be distilled a little higher than the 160 proof that we associate bourbon with, and it can be put in new or used charred oak barrels. What's really unique about this is they took a bunch of the distilleries that they talked to and featured on their website and they put them in this one bottle. So in this one bottle alone, you have things like Watershed Distillery, Whiskey Del Bach, Wiggle, and the Spirits of French Lake. All of them are blended expertly to make this delicious juice we have in front of us. Also, major points of the fun bottle art. Look at that, isn't that just beautiful? These are very, very nice, unique bottles. Nice wooden topper, I love that. So today, we're talking about Borrowed Page Volume 1. Beautiful amber color. This is one delicious pour. On the nose, it's orange peel, tobacco, and there's like this rye smokiness that comes through on it. It smells delicious. Let's give it a taste. Cheers. This is delicious. Right on the forefront, it's a salted caramel. It tastes very similar. It reminds me of a little bit of like a salty Snickers bar, and it's really good. Lingering like a dark chocolate on the back of the palate, and a citrus that comes to the forefront. It leaves you with this mesquite smokiness that is just a telltale sign of the single malt from Whiskey Del Bach. Volume 1 is the story of American whiskey. The story of American whiskey is the story of America, a melting pot of ideas, contracting and expanding as we resolve to write our narrative together. It's a genre-blurring anthology being written and revised, glass by glass, bottle by bottle, to become a record of our past inspirations for our future. Borrowed Page American Whiskey is a limited release series. Each volume will be different from the last, blending the culture, the craft, the passion of America's small craft distilleries as we unite to write the next chapter and carry the story of American whiskey forward. I love that. I actually had the ability to meet Devin Ershow, founder of American Mash and Grain, and you can just see the passion come out in his speech. I mean, everything that he says, he truly believes and has a passion for American whiskey and pushing this hobby forward and turning over something new and creating something new for the whiskey world. I love to see a good MVP out there that truly believes in their product and they're trying to make something and create something that is very unique. And this is a really unique, delicious pour. This clocks in right around 117 proof, which is exactly where it should be in my book. If you guys want to find out more about American Mash and Grain, head to AmericanMashAndGrain.com. They are full of American small craft distilleries, their owner stories, and honestly everything that us whiskey nerds love. The rye spice that comes from Wiggle blends really, really nicely with the sweetness that you get from a Watershed Distillery product. These are all blended and mingled masterfully. I actually poured this, let it sit in the glass for about 15 minutes, and it opened up so nicely. This has a nice, long, complex finish with the smokiness that is just really fantastic. It doesn't overpower, it only adds to the complexity and the flavor. This is a blend of chocolate spice and everything nice. If you haven't tried it already, Borrowed Page Volume 1 is an absolute smash. Guys, get out there and get it. Cheers. American Mash and Grain's Borrowed Page Volume 2, because like every good book, sometimes things need a second story. After that first Borrowed Page Volume 1, we were just clamoring for a follow-up, and they do not miss with this. The coolest thing about this is since Borrowed Page blends distilleries, they went in a totally different direction. So we'll say the first Volume 1 was very bourbon forward, lots of bourbons, lots of good whiskeys. This deliberately omits bourbon. This is a blend of single pot stills, ryes, and single malt whiskeys. It's still classified as American light whiskey. This bad boy here, Volume 2, clocks in at a hefty 110 proof. Here at Aged to Perfection, I love highlighting craft distilleries, and that's exactly what American Mash and Grain does with every single story and every single version of Borrowed Page. We all know the big guys out there do it great. they don't need any more publicity, but those smaller craft distilleries, like what's in this bottle, Virginia Distillery, Talnua Distillery, and Mammoth Distilling, they can use the spotlight, and this right here shines that light bright. But like I said before, Virginia, Mammoth, and Talnua, all in this one bottle, mingling to make one fantastic sauce. Now, the cool thing, I love all of these distillers. I've had them all independently, and having them each all mingled together, it sounds fantastic. Talnua Distillery especially is one of my favorite because they have an American Irish whiskey. They take their own American whiskey and actually blend it with grains or even whiskey brought in from Ireland. And you just can't beat that. That is so cool. I love that kind of passion. The guys from American Mash and Grain even brought in Ryan Mills, the whiskey influencer, to help with the blending process and taste profile. So I'm really excited to see what we have to offer today. All right, on the nose, it has a maltiness. It's like a mix of rye and cereal that comes out. It smells very bright, very nice. I'm excited to dive in. Cheers. Oh yeah, that's nice. Very different than Borrowed Page Volume 1. This right here, it's very malt forward. You can definitely taste the influences of that Irish whiskey from Talnua and how it mixes with that maltiness from Virginia Distillery. Mid-palate, there's a cereal peppery mix that's really, really nice. It starts off with a red fruit, green apple on the palate that's very, very pleasant. And it has a very nice medium to long finish with a charred oak smokiness that really settles on the palate. This is a very beautiful, complex whiskey. And at 110 proof, it clocks in perfectly, hitting the palate just right. In the beginning, there's definitely an alcoholic assertiveness, but it really mellows as you get to the back palate. That comes in, it turns into something a lot sweeter and really pleasant. Borrowed Page Volume 1 was very bourbon forward. This is very single pot stilled malt forward. And what's really beautiful about both of these is they are so different and fantastic visions that their creators have put forth. This blend has a gymnastics of fruit forward with a spicy backbone that really sticks the landing. This is one of those whiskeys that really develops as you sip it more and more. It rewards your patience because every sip is a little bit different as it has a chance to develop on your palate. Borrowed Page Volume 2 is a well-crafted expression that really shows what American Mash and Grain is all about. Telling a story, putting forth their favorite distilleries, and blending them to turn them into something truly exceptional. If you're looking for a safe whiskey that you know you're going to love, go find your Buffalo Trace. But if you're looking for an NDP that's truly pushing the limits of what you can and should do, and that really is trying to bring forward something truly unique, I highly recommend picking up these Borrowed Page. I want to say there's still some Borrowed Page Volume 2 available on the market, and if you can find it, it's an absolute must try. And as always, point for the awesome bottle art. Isn't that just gorgeous? Man,